Taiwan has picked up 6 medals at the Tokyo Olympics. That's the most the country has ever won at the Games.
One of the biggest stars, Kuo Hsing-chun, picked up a gold in weightlifting.
Leslie Liao tells us all about Taiwan-desu, the new hashtag for Taiwan at the Olympics. And we say goodbye to one of our hosts today.
And in today's Brain Game, Stash Butler is going to find out how much we know about Taiwan's performance in past Olympics. This is Taiwan Insider.
People in Taiwan have been very happy about how Taiwan is doing in the Olympics, and we'll get to that in just a moment. But there's been another sentiment going on around town, and that's anxiety. Not over the games, but actually because restrictions have been lifted. So beaches, cinemas, kindergartens are open, and that has some people worried.
The government's decision to lower the country's COVID-19 alert level on July 27th has some experts concerned. Will Taiwan be able to keep the pandemic under control once restrictions are lifted? Dr. Huang Liming, an infectious disease specialist at National Taiwan University Hospital, says that Taiwan's current vaccination rate is far below the 80% needed to achieve herd immunity. Huang says that 75 to 80% of the population must receive 2 vaccine doses before Taiwan can be sure that 65% of the population is protected against COVID. Other experts say that even if Taiwan had a stable supply of vaccine doses, it would still take another 2 to 3 months to achieve herd immunity. They say that lowering the COVID alert level is not the same as lifting a lockdown and that people should remain vigilant. Dr. Huang also says that COVID testing should still be carried out. He says that the sooner COVID patients are identified, the sooner the R number or reproduction number can be reduced, meaning that the outbreak is slowing down. Keeping the pandemic at bay will also require enforcement of border controls so that other variants do not enter the country, and it will also take everyone continuing to abide by pandemic prevention rules.
Now, it's not just the experts that are worried. A recent poll by the Taiwanese Public Opinion Foundation saw that nearly 60% of people in Taiwan worry that we might have lifted restrictions too soon. Now, worry's not a good thing, but if it helps us keep vigilant and all get vaccinated, I think Taiwan will be in good shape. Next up, Andrew tells us all about Taiwan's Olympic stars.
We turn now to the Olympics, and what better way to start than with Kuo Hsing-chun, who picked up the first gold medal for Taiwan at this year's Games in Tokyo.
Kuo Hsing-chun is a Taiwanese 4-time world champion, 2-time Universiade champion, 1-time Asian Games champion, and 4-time Asian champion. Now she can add Olympic gold medalist to her list of achievements. On Tuesday, Kuo beat out all other women competitors in her 59-kilogram weight class to claim Taiwan's first gold medal at the Tokyo 2020 Olympics. Kuo Hsing-chun was born in Taiwan's Yilan County on November 26, 1993. The 27-year-old is of indigenous Amis descent. She made her Olympic debut in 2012 in London, where she placed 6th overall in the women's 58-kilogram weight category. Then, at the 2016 Olympics in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, she took home a bronze medal despite an injury. After a less than optimal performance in Rio, Kuo has not lost a single major competition, taking home gold medals at the World Weightlifting Championships, the Asian Games, the Universiade, and the Asian Championships. Kuo was favored to win gold at Tokyo, and she delivered with a vengeance. Kuo lifted a combined 236 kilograms, an Olympic record, but just short of the world record of 247 kilograms, which she herself holds. However, Kuo's Olympic performance put her more than 19 kilograms ahead of runner-up Polina Gurieva of Turkmenistan. For Kuo, Tuesday wasn't about setting records, it was about winning gold. Still, not smashing her own record was a sign for Kuo that she'd have to return and defend her title the next time the Olympics roll around. Leslie Liao, RTI News.
What an amazing athlete. Now, in just 4 days, Taiwan picked up 6 medals at this year's Games. That's breaking its own record for the most medals it's ever won in a single year at the Olympics. The first medal went to Yung-wei, an indigenous Taiwan athlete. He's the first Taiwanese athlete to win an Olympic medal in judo. Both his mother and his brother also excel in this sport. Now, I think he got a bunch of new fans at the medal ceremony. He looked down at the medal that he just won, and then he took a big sniff of it as though he, just couldn't imagine that he'd won this medal. It was very cute. Now, the next medal came in Taekwondo. Chia-ling picked up a bronze in the sport, which she began learning in kindergarten. The 19-year-old athlete also comes from a martial arts family, and she practices with both her father and her brother. Taiwan's next medal at the Olympics this year came in men's archery. One of the competitors said he was so nervous he was shaking when he entered the venue for the gold medal round. They performed well, but it wasn't enough to match the 13 perfect 10s out of 18 by their South Korean competitors. This is the second time Taiwan has won a silver in this event. The last time was in 2004 in Athens. Up next, a table tennis duo. Lin Junru and Zheng Yijing. Lin is 19 years old, and so far he and Taekwondo star Chia-ling are the youngest two medalists from Taiwan this year. As of recording time, he still has a shot at a second medal this year. This was the first Olympics table tennis medal for Taiwan in 21 years. And finally, the medal that pushed Taiwan over the top, giving it the most medals it's ever won in an Olympics. Wen-huei on Tuesday clinched the bronze medal in the women's 64-kilogram weight class. Again, this was the sixth medal for Taiwan, the most it's ever won in Olympics. It was the second women's weightlifting medal for Taiwan in a single day. So, of course, congratulations to all of Taiwan's Olympians, and thank you for inspiring a whole generation of athletes. Go Team Taiwan. Up next, hashtag Taiwan with Leslie Lau, and I'm here he's going to be talking about the Olympics.
Remember 2 weeks ago when I said this? The 2020 Olympic Games in Tokyo, Japan will kick off. Be on the lookout for this flag and the name Chinese Taipei. For complex geopolitical reasons that I'm not getting into, Taiwan cannot compete as Taiwan. Well, a lot of news outlets are now picking up on that and explaining why Taiwan can't compete as Taiwan. Here's the thing though, Japanese media broadcaster NHK went out of its way to remind people during the Tokyo 2020 Olympic opening ceremony that Chinese Taipei is actually Taiwan. In fact, they flat out said it. The announcer straight up said Taiwan-desu when the team entered the stadium. She basically saw the Chinese Taipei Olympic flag and just went, oh, that's Taiwan. That's Taiwan. It's nice that Taiwan is being recognized as Taiwan because we're already so used to Chinese Taipei. An online user even took to the Taiwanese forum PTT asking, did NHK just make a boo-boo? Did they really just say Taiwan? Was that an accident? You see, even Taiwanese people aren't used to being called Taiwan at the Olympics. Taiwan-desu is a big deal. Here's why. Harvard fellow and Taiwan scholar Lev Nachman tweeted, there is something about the nature of contested states where simply hearing their contested name in an international context brings a sense of resistance to their marginalization. And that is Smarty Pants speak for, because Taiwan can't be Taiwan at the Olympics, hearing Taiwan said and acknowledged is all the more meaningful. Many memes about this situation show a kind-hearted Japan telling Chinese Taipei it's okay to be referred to as Taiwan. So impactful is the term Taiwan-desu that it has become the de facto hashtag for tweeting about Taiwan at the Olympics. You can see it plastered across posts celebrating victories and Taiwanese Olympians. Since we're on the topic, let's talk about another one of Taiwan's names. Taiwan's official name as a country is the Republic of China, or ROC for short, not to be confused with the People's Republic of China across the strait. I've explained why in a past episode of Hashtag, and if you need a refresher, I'll have a link below. Now, what's confusing is there is a team called ROC at this year's Olympics, but it's got nothing to do with Taiwan. That ROC is actually short for Russian Olympic Committee. Russia was caught in a doping scandal back in 2019 and was banned from international sporting events for 4 years. However, by competing under the name ROC, Russian athletes can still participate in the Olympics. Spoiler alert, it's a loophole. But I just feel bad for the guy who sees ROC and thinks, Taiwan-desu? Ga?
Next up, we go back in time as Stash Butler quizzes me and Andrew about Taiwan's legendary Olympic athletes.
We are playing a game called the Trailblazers. So you know Taiwan just beat its all-time record for its record medal tally, but that all began somewhere, right? Taiwan originally didn't start winning medals straight away. It was the first time before Taiwan even won its first medal at an Olympics. So what I want to do is go and look back and look at the first people, the people who won Taiwan's first medals. So this is going to be a kind of a riddle game. Each slide has a picture of the athlete. If you know the athlete's name, then great. If not, it's okay. It will also have their sport, the foundation story for the city in which that Olympics took place, and also a clue from history to give you a hint at what year it was, at what year that Olympics was. I think you'll be okay with the sport, but the other two you may need to talk through.
Sounds like fun.
Sounds great.
Okay, let's go to the first picture then.
That looks like the founding story for Rome. It's a little wolf, right? With all the little children, the little hills of Rome, is it?
That's exactly right. It's Romulus and Remus, the two brothers that founded Rome. Exactly.
What's Kennedy doing in there? I forgot.
So Kennedy is.
It must be the year.
Yeah, that's the year.
In the 60s?
It is the 60s. Do you know which year?
Yes, because I think he was assassinated in maybe 63. So maybe 60? Is it 1960?
Exactly, it's 1960. And what about the sport? What do you think?
Hurdles.
I think it must be triathlon because I see three things there. Yeah.
There are three things there. Actually, that's not the full range of things. There are more than three things. It involves hurdles, but involves other things as well. So not triathlon, but
Ten.
It's decathlon, yeah. So that is Yang Chuanguang, and he is Taiwan's first ever medalist at the Olympics.
Yes, I actually know this guy. He's Amis. He's
right.
from the Amis tribe, and he is from the same village that Kuo Hsing-chun is from. He's from Malan in Taidong.
Wow, that's wonderful. I thought he was indigenous. I remember his story. He's amazing.
Yeah, he's a really interesting guy. I mean, it seems that I think Taiwan has a lot of amazing athletes that come from their indigenous people. And you're right, he is a member of the Amis. He attended college at UCLA. I mean, obviously America, a hotbed of kind of athlete talent. Yeah, he actually took the decathlon world record in 1961 and was the first person to breach the 9,000 point barrier. Now, I don't know anything really about decathlon, but it's still the first. It's the cross a line. Yeah, exactly. So and like I said, Taiwan's first ever medalist with a silver medal in the 1960 Olympics in Rome.
Wow.
Let's see the next slide.
I know her, Chih-chun.
Exactly.
Yes, I was going to say.
So that's Martin Luther King. The 70s.
Not the 70s.
Oh no, I think she must have been 68.
Sorry,
68.
That is correct.
68. So is that Mexico?
It is. And
Mexico City.
What does the picture show? What's the Mexico City? Do you know what that exactly shows?
It looks like a phoenix.
It's actually it's an eagle perching on a cactus. So I mean, Mexico City famously is actually built in a lake. And very early on, it was, surrounded by water. Now it's obviously just in the basin. But the origin story of the city is that one of the Aztecs' god saw an eagle perching on a cactus tree, or a cactus plant rather, and decided that's where Mexico City would be made. And,
wow.
And what did Ji-deng do?
She also run the hurdles.
Yeah, so this is the hurdles. Yeah, so she ran the women's 80-meter hurdles, and she was Taiwan's first ever female medalist, also first ever bronze medalist, and she won Associated Press Athlete of the Year in 1970.
Wow.
Let's go on to the third slide.
I know this.
We're now moving well into living memory, so I expect that these might be a bit easier for you. But what do you see? What are you seeing here?
That's Teng Shixin. I actually remember her winning the gold medal.
Is this in 2008?
2004 in Athens.
Exactly.
And I actually remember it was a very emotional moment because I actually broadcast the news that night. And I remember,
I mean, it's definitely an amazing moment for Taiwan. I mean, to have that first gold medal 50 years or 40 years after winning their first medal, to wait that long for a gold. She was also, like so many of Taiwan's athletes, has some indigenous heritage. Her mother was Atayal.
What's interesting is Taiwan actually won a second gold. Its second gold was the same year. It was Yan, and they both won for Taekwondo, right? Broadcasters in Taiwan that year, like literally anybody that read that in the news, like on air, just lost it. And it was just so powerful to watch it happening in action and like to feel, a nation rejoicing at having won its first gold medal. I mean, it's a big deal. So what is that in the bottom right-hand corner? What is that picture?
Oh, so this is a clue as to the year, actually. So can you tell me what we're seeing there as a hint to the year? It's rather a sad hint as to something
Is it a typhoon?
It is a natural disaster, not a typhoon, but
the
rather
tsunami.
Exactly. So this is the Boxing Day or 2004 tsunami that devastated a lot of Southeast Asia. And what about the final picture in the kind of center middle, bottom of the screen? What's that?
Well, that must be Athena, right?
It is. I mean, in terms of as origin stories go, the Athens Athena connection is a bit of a clearer one. She won a contest between her and Neptune as to who to be the patron of the city. So thank you so much for playing. That was the Trailblazers. I hope you learned something new, or I mean, in some cases, relived some old memories.
Okay, as you can see, we are together in the studio. First time in a couple months.
Right.
Yeah.
That's good, huh?
Yeah.
Except for these.
Yeah, right.
Protective measures.
Yes, absolutely. So, but we thought we would finish up in today's show. It is kind of a special show. We thought we would finish in the studio. But before we get to our ending today, we want to show you some of the other stories that have been on our radar this week.
Taiwan is investigating a cyber attack targeting users of the popular messaging app Line. The Liberty Times says the attack targeted around 100 politicians, officials, and military officers. The paper also says that all signs point to professional hackers and that the attack may have involved Pegasus spyware. Line itself has acknowledged the attack but has not confirmed any details. President Tsai Ing-wen is getting a COVID vaccine, and her choice? The first Taiwan-developed vaccine to get emergency approval. The vaccine was developed by Medigen Vaccine Biologics Corporation, and Taiwan's FDA recently gave it emergency use authorization. It's now joined the AstraZeneca and Moderna vaccines as a third option in Taiwan. Medigen has not yet conducted phase 3 trials to test the efficacy, but President Tsai defended the vaccine on Facebook, saying that Taiwan will only grant approval to vaccines that are safe, effective, and meet scientific standards. The Czech Republic is donating 30,000 COVID-19 vaccine doses to Taiwan as part of a program to help countries around the world. The Czech Republic is now the third European country to donate to Taiwan, following Lithuania and Slovakia. And Taiwan's number 2 nuclear power plant went offline under some bizarre circumstances this week. A chair moved out of the way for cleaning bumped into a button, triggering an emergency shutdown. The accident happened Tuesday just as Taiwan came out of a semi-lockdown, and demand for power jumped. Fortunately, solar and hydropower were able to make up the difference, and the average person did not even notice anything had gone wrong. Taiwan's atomic energy authorities say they want a report and a list of responsible people to discipline. And you thought you had a bad day at work.
So actually today we're going to have to say goodbye to Andrew, who is stepping aside from his hosting duties here to another position in the media.
That's right.
But, Andrew, we do have a final word, and this week's word is describe Andrew in a word. So let's see what Stash and Leslie had to say.
So the word I would use to describe Andrew is excellence. It's something he embodies. It's something he's committed to, and it's something that he's taught me to strive for. So it was an easy decision, Andrew. Excellence.
If I had to choose one word to describe Andrew, it would be kind. I mean, honestly, I could have chosen so many adjectives. This is really hard. I felt kind covered most of it. I mean, from the second I joined RTI, Andrew has been so lovely. He's taught me so much, and every step of the way he's been so patient. So many points he could have been patronizing because he has so much more experience than me, but he's taught me so much and just been so calm and patient and lovely every step of the way, and I'm really going to miss him.
Andrew, how do you feel about that?
Very sweet.
I'm tearing up.
I know.
How do you feel about me?
I have tissues just in case.
I have a word as well. Well, two words actually.
Oh.
Pro. So actually, I have been working with Andrew for a long time. We've done a lot of stuff together, hosted a lot of shows, even radio plays that you wrote.
That's right.
Features, and we put this show together. And
National Day.
National Day.
Yes.
And the inauguration of, Chen Shui-bian, and, a lot of exciting things.
Yeah, elections.
Elections.
We went to the Golden Bell Awards together.
That's right. We won a few Golden Bell
together.
And thank you, because I don't think I could have done it without you.
Without you.
So, I mean, whatever Andrew does, whether it's writing, producing, hosting, he's a real pro.
Oh, that's very kind of you.
So I know you're going to do great, whatever you do. And actually, you're going to be doing some stuff here too.
Yes, that's right. I don't want people to think that I'm gone. I'm like, checking out. See ya. I've been working here for 22 years. I never thought I would work at a single job for 22 years. I never thought that I would leave a job that I've been at for 22 years. So it's not an easy decision, but I'm not gone for good. I will definitely be here, not on Taiwan Insider, but I will be hosting Feast Meets West, a show that we're actually celebrating. Me and Ellen Chu will be celebrating our 20th year together on air next week.
That's amazing. You guys do a great job introducing the food and culture of Taiwan.
And I've prepared some special things over this next month. Over the month of August, I'll be showing you, I actually made her 20 treats for 20 years, one for each year.
She's so lucky.
So at the end of the day,
amazing.
I'm the lucky one to have worked with so many wonderful people at RTI, to have worked with Natalie, Leslie, John, Paula, Shirley, Stash. It's not easy to leave, but I promise you my heart will always be here at RTI. As we say in Chinese, it's, my Niangjia. This is my eternal forever home. So I will always be back whenever you need me.
We're going to miss you a lot. Would you like a souvenir, Andrew?
From
sure.
The
set. I look behind you. How about the water bottle?
Oh, thank
Pineapple
you.
life.
I love it.
Live a pineapple life.
Live a pineapple life, wear a crown, be sweet on the inside, stand tall. That's great words to live by. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. We'll miss you a lot, Andrew. Thank you. And thank you for listening to, watching actually, Taiwan Insider this week. I am Natalie So.
I'm Leslie Liao. See you next week.
And I'm Andrew Ryan. And this week I'm not going to say see you next week, but I'm also not going to say farewell. We'll say see you soon.